Today I am starting a new playthrough. It's not going to be a standard playthrough. I'm playing Pillars of Eternity, the original. I've never actually completed this game. I've got about a little over 3/4 of the way through it. Um, as my channel suggests, I'm going to be playing this as a ranger. If that doesn't work out, I'm actually probably going to start another playthrough as a cipher. They're the only two real character classes that I like in this game. So, yeah, that's what we are going to do. I'm not going to play it on super hard levels. I'm going to play it on normal. The previous times when I've played it, I've usually played it on normal or easy. I'm going to turn on Trial of Iron just so that there's a single save and I've got no backsies. If I die, that's it. If I make a mistake, tough luck. Because I'm not trying to do a full playthrough here. I'm trying to showcase my play style a little bit, and I'm trying not to give away too much of what I'm doing. I'm also not going to read a lot of the dialogue initially or read a lot of the stuff on the screen. I'm going to click through things fairly quickly, at least particularly for the introduction part of the game, because
Five
sure
wagons grope blindly for the path on a
before, so that's why I've just gone past this as well. Okay, so picking male. Okay, so Rangers. You can read any number of guides on the internet that will tell you the best character class for each different type of character. And everyone will tell you Elf is, in particular, the Wood Elves, because they get this bonus to accuracy and deflection and reflex for everything that is 4 meters away. That is good. And it is. That is a really good ability, and that's what I'm going to pick. But there is another option, and that is you can pick Auma and do the island Auma, or however you pronounce this, because you get an extra weapon set, and that becomes really useful as a ranged character class, because what you can do is you can switch between rifles or firearms of some sort to bow, and then have your backup weapon set. And in fact, if you want to pick the right talents as you go through, you can actually give yourself 4 weapon sets, so you could cycle between 2 or even 3 firearms and then switch to a bow or whatever as your 4th set. Or if you're doing just 2 firearms, you'd go firearm, firearm, bow, and then your backup weapons, melee weapons. I'm not going to do that. I have played through like that, and it is certainly a way to do things, but you micromanage every single fight, because at the start of every fight you fire off your first weapon, then you switch to your second weapon set, switch to your third weapon set, what have you, and it's a lot of fiddling around. I'm going to play just a standard Elven Ranger. I tend not to pick the characters, the races, based on the abilities. So elves get a +1 to dexterity and a +1 to perception, and those are good for rangers. But for example, if I'm playing a fighter, even though -1 to might, the half Orlan, with their ability to convert hits into crits for any target they attack which is also being targeted by a teammate, is a very good ability. So that is definitely something to consider. Look at the features that you get from a particular race or sub-race, rather than just picking the abilities, because you can lower and raise abilities as much as you want. You can get basically the same character whatever race you pick. It's just that some combinations you'll be able to go just a little bit higher if you're min-maxing. So I'm picking the Ranger. The Ranger is actually a fairly boring class to play, because you don't get many active skills that you can use, like wounding shot, for example. That's one ability that you can use, but that's it. You don't get many more throughout the game. Most of the other ones are modal, which you just turn on and leave on, or they're passive. I'm going to pick bears, because I think the bears are the best animal companions you can get. Antelopes, they're supposed to be a little bit tanky, but they're not all that great. Same with stags. Boars are supposed to be pretty tanky, but I don't know. They don't do much damage for me. Lions are supposed to do a lot of damage, but they really don't. And the wolf is an okay companion, but they're a little bit of a glass cannon. So we're going to pick bear. And we're going with names of bears that match the name of the character. So this one's going to be Dire Bear, not Sire Dire. Okay, so that bear's going to be called Dire Bear. Now, stats, here's where it's going to get interesting. Here's where it's going to get controversial. Because they recommend might and perception with secondary of dex and intelligence. I disagree with that. Perception, definitely. We're going to max that out. We want that to be as high as possible because perception affects your accuracy. So you want a higher accuracy. But might, while it does a percentage increase to damage, that's okay. But it's not everything in this game. Dexterity, yeah, if I had the extra points to put into dexterity, the increase in action speed that I get would be useful, but reflex is not what you think it is. It's protection from AoE, area of attack spells. So normally in a game based on Dungeons and Dragons, which this is not, anything based on the D&D rule set, you would increase dexterity to basically increase your armor class or decrease your chance of getting hit. That doesn't help. So increasing your dexterity for a ranger is not worth it. Your resolve is what increases your deflection. So I'm increasing my resolve as much as I can. So I've got an extra deflection of +7. Now I don't expect to be in combat a lot, but if I do end up being in directly targeted, because I'm expecting that my animal companion is going to be directly targeted, but if I do end up being directly targeted, I want to be able to defend myself as much as possible. And that's also going to influence my weapon choices. Normally I would pick dual wielding, not because I think it's the way rangers should be, but because being able to attack with two weapons gives you twice the chance to hit. But I have found when playing recently that it might work a little bit better to go with sword and shield, because you just get so much extra protection. Most shields give you a minimum of, I think it's 7, but even a normal, that's a buckler basically, a really small shield. Just a normal shield gives you like 15 increase in deflection, which is enormous in this game. It makes, if you're up against someone with a shield, they can be very hard to hit. And I want to be able to survive that. So we're going to take that one extra point off dexterity and we're going to put that in resolve. So that gives us +8 to deflection. And the concentration is helpful, but we don't really cast many spells. Now, if I was really min-maxing this, going to the absolute best, and I did want to increase might, for example, I would consider dropping the intellect to 0. In fact, I think I will. I wasn't going to do this. I was going to play through with not min-maxing, but I think I will. But I'm not going to give it to might. I don't think the extra damage is worth it. I think the extra action speed is more important, and consequently it gives us better reflex, so any area of effect stuff I can potentially dodge a little bit better. The might with extra damage, yeah, that might be useful, but I want to be able to attack a little more often and see how that goes. So that's my character that I'm going to do. I'm not going to touch Constitution because I don't have a lot of health to begin with. I could have put some of this dex points into Constitution, even a 10% increase. Like if I take this and just go like that, that's a 10% increase in endurance and health. That could be useful. You know, that drops my action speed down to only +15 as opposed to +21. But I think the 21% is a little bit better for action speed. So that's what I'm going to do. For culture, I'm going to start with having that extra point of resolve would have been nice. There we go. This one here. I just wanted something with the bigger bow, the war bow, to start with. In the long run, I may end up switching this character out for a short bow, the hunting bow, because it shoots faster, but it doesn't do enough damage most of the time to hit someone who's got like full plate armor on. So I really need, unless my accuracy is way higher than theirs. That's why I've bumped perception as much as possible, and I'm going to be doing everything I can through this playthrough to increase this character's accuracy and deflection so that they can hit better and survive longer. At least that's the plan, that's the hope. Now, I normally pick merchant here, and there's a reason for this. In the very early start of this game, there is a locked chest right at the very start, which, if you don't have any skill in mechanics, you will not be able to open. And it doesn't have a huge amount of stuff in it, but it's got a couple of things in there I think that sell reasonably well, and I need money at the start of the game. Now, it's not that bad actually, because when playing on normal level difficulty, there's enough opponents that I can get the amount of money that I need fairly quickly. And you'll see why I need the money in a little bit. I'm trying not to spoil it, but you'll see it soon. Lore helps you through a couple of the scripted interactions in the very start of the game as well. I could have picked Aristocrat, which gives me that extra level of lore, and that actually has some interesting... in fact, I think I will this time. I think I'll do it this time, because that has some interesting... No, I won't. The Aristocrat does have some interesting... yes, I will. It has some interesting dialogue choices during the game, so we'll pick that. If we can't get into that chest, we can't get into that chest. We said Diabet, didn't we? For some reason, I like the look of this guy. I don't know why. And the hair, I think, that goes well with that is this one, so let's give him the dark coloured hair, and that looks reasonably close, although I think I'll drop the skin colour down a little bit like that. I'm not going to play around with his colouring, although I could go and say, well, this needs to be more blue to match the blue there, and we'll make this a green because he's a ranger. That looks a bit stupid, and I'm not colourblind, but actually, let's make that a brown. There we go. Blue and brown, I probably don't go together very well, but anyway. So he's got this scale mail armor, not the best armor. I'm probably going to switch it out for leather fairly soon, just because it slows you down a little bit. And I was interested in at least trying at some point to put this guy even in just plain clothes, because the plan is not to be in combat very often, but there are a few points in the game where I'm going to want some heavy armor. I know where they are, at least earlier on in the game, and we're going to try that. We're going to switch to that armor at some point. But for right now, this will do. Really early on in the game, we can find a suit of leather, which we'll go to just to speed things up a little bit more from our action speed, whatever it's called.
Just say the word.
Take the cocky voice, and we're going to call him Dyer. Now, the idea there is that his name matches his bear's name. His bear is called Dyer Bear. He's called Dyer. I can easily see that bear is his. Okay. So, as I said, I'm going to breeze through these character choices and not
Everybody,
listen to
stay.
all
Whole
of this.
areas tonight. Touch it. There's a. I know you wanna. They grow on nothing you won't. Of course, all got different. Not if you hurry, and not if this time
We've
of
all
year
done this
they don't got
before.
on. It's more like the soul. Hold on, Kalisha. He needs to find.
No. Kind you can...
Don't listen to her. Off with you.
And we really
You
want to
heard
get
the
through
man.
this as
Let's
quickly
get going
as we can.
before you keel over.
Okay, so we first thing first, a couple of things to do. One is to set the AI for the characters. Just everything too aggressive. I can override this in combat as I need to, but it just means I don't have to micromanage these guys to the nth degree. Then we are going to set the party formation. Because I'm using a bow, I'm going to be a little bit behind the bear and Kaliska. I thought it was Callista. Anyway, Been hearing it wrong all this time. So I don't
Let's
think...
see what's in here.
Oh, no, we don't have enough lockpicking to get into that. So we don't get to go in and grab that at this point. That's fine. I think there might be some other lockpicks around here somewhere, and we might be able to get it open in a little while before we finish. Now, I've done this so many times. I have a set way that I run around here and do everything. I'm not going to bother talking to the thief merchant guy over there. I'm not even going to bother talking to Sparful or whatever his name is here. You all know what he says. I'm just going to go up here. I'm going to grab... I do tend to try and grab all of the reagents, I guess they are. I don't even use them all that often.
Let's check by those outcrops.
Okay. First thing to do is set a hotkey for my wounding so that I can get that happening a little bit quicker. If you don't know, you can mouse over any of this stuff and set a hotkey. So, for example, second wind I can set to be... I thought I could set to be S. Oh, I can't use that ability because I don't have any athletics. If I did, I could set that to S and use that. So we've hit the young wolf. He's now hobbled, so he can't run away, and we're doing damage over time with the wounded shot. But you'll see here, 5.6 seconds. That's only supposed to do it for 6 seconds. So the reduction of our intelligence hasn't really hugely affected that time. So that's fine. And let's remember to put everything into our stash. Okay, let's put all these into the stash as well. Eventually I'm going to equip, as I said, sword and board or something like that as backup weapons for my guy.
This is it.
Let's just breeze through this as well. We've all seen this before. Oh, that's right. Disinherited. Yeah, it doesn't really matter what you say with any of this sort of stuff. And you're just finding out that Kaliska's sister is in a town that's nearby. Okay, there is another reagent to pick up here. Burned lady, just a bunch of mushrooms, which is what 90% of these things are. Mushrooms or herbs or flowers. Okay, we're going to come down here. And we could shoot that deer, but you don't really get a huge amount of experience for it, so it's not always that useful. Let's raid this guy. So we've got another lockpick, and we've got the leather armor. So let's switch to that leather armor. So if we do a comparison now between this scale mail and the armor that we've got on, 5% less recovery speed, so it means we'll attack 5% quicker. But we've got the same slash. We've only got 1 point less in most other things, but we've actually got a 1 point improvement in pierce damage. So scale's a little bit vulnerable to piercing, whereas leather is a little bit better overall than scale at piercing. So it's a good option. Of course, we could just wear the shirt, which gives us no recovery speed. Oop, didn't mean to enchant that. I meant to do the comparison. So we have no damage reduction at all, but we would be able to recover 30% faster. But I don't think I'm quite ready to try that just yet. Okay, so I'm also going to speed up movement just to get us through a lot of this quicker. So we're not going to do this interaction here straight away.
Come on. This is recent. Not good.
Okay, so there is a bottle here that you can pick up. It's actually not a bottle, it's some beer, but it looks like a bottle. And then if we go into search mode, we've found this. Stealth mode, actually, but you can search for that. So here we get the Disappointer and some clothing. Now, the Disappointer, as as the name suggests, it is very disappointing. So we're not going to use it. What we are going to do is, before we interact with that water skin, we're going to come back to here and we're going to talk to this guy, Odin, after we raid this box. And we are going to sell up all of this stuff to make some money.
Brought a whole wagon full of goods to sell, but not enough shirts for the road. Say, is there anything you need? I'm a trader.
I don't know why
Originally from the Adir Empire.
But I do sometimes.
Something else you need?
I think it's interesting to talk to him. Okay, so let's sell this for 150. Let's sell all of that for 300 total. Let's sell the hat and the beer and the potion and the wolf hide, and you know what? Let's sell all of that too. Now, is it worthwhile buying some lockpicks? I actually think it is. Let's buy those. Okay, and let's go and unlock this chest over here, because I can't actually remember what's in it.
That'll do it.
Ah, that's right, the minor endurance, and if I remember, that sells for a couple of hundred.
Something else you need?
Let's see what you've got. There and there. Yeah, 225. So it's worth the 38 copper it cost us to get that. And I think we've probably got a couple more lockpicks which we can sell back to him. We don't need any, so we'll do that. So we've got nearly 1,000 gold or copper there straight up, which is good. Because, and this is going to give away a little bit, by the time I get to the first village, I want 1,250 copper. Which should not be hard, as I've said before. It's pretty easy to do. So let's do this. That's right, I don't need to save because I'm playing the iron mode where you can't save. Let's skip through this. Sparfle's been shot while he was out hunting. He got ambushed by some...
Ambush!
By some... what are they? Glenfathen hunters. Okay, so... this guy's got a bow, this guy's got a sword and shield. We're going to target him, so everybody's going to attack him initially, and we're just going to rely on this guy being, hopefully, a reasonably bad shot. I'm also going to use wounding shots straight up on this guy. Did we get him? Yes, we did. Okay. So the wounding shot hasn't lasted very long, only a few seconds, but it's done a decent amount of damage to him. And none of us really seem to get hit, or at least not for more than grazes from this guy, if we did get hit. So now we're going to target him. Let's do a wounding shot on him as well. No, too late.
Come on, we have to get back to camp.
Yeah, I'm sure we do, but let's make sure we pick up all the gear we can first. So I think we just got some hide armor, which isn't bad. It's actually a little bit faster recovery speed, but you'll see that yeah, it's, well, actually, it's just not as good against slashing, really. It's still as good from pierce. It's just not as good as the leather armor against slashing. So we're going to leave that for the time being. We're not going to use that. I mean, maybe if I found an exceptional set of that. Let's slow down our combat. Now we know there's a group of guys around here. What's happened? My party layout's wrong. There we go. So let's get ourselves ready for this. Another guy with sword and board. We didn't... Did he... No, that last guy didn't drop his weapon. Or did we not pick it up? Damn it. Maybe I've got to go back. Maybe I forgot to pick that guy's equipment up. There we go. It's one down. No, what am I doing? There we go. So yeah, the wounding shot doesn't last very long because we dropped our intelligence down. I think it might also have to do with their will or something like that as well. There we go. So let's just really quickly double check. Did we forget to loot this guy? No? We looted him. Okay. I thought he dropped weapons, but obviously he didn't. So, let's loot these guys. And it's a silly weapon combination, but I'm going to take hand axe and a medium shield. So we will see that my deflection is now 29. Callista's is 33 without a shield. If I switch to this, it's now 46. With my accuracy being 35, 39 with a bow. Her accuracy is 32 or 44 single. See, that's what I'm going to do actually. That's... Wow, does it... It's only supposed to drop the accuracy by 4. That's dropping the accuracy by way more than 4. That should be 40, not 28. I think there's a bug there. I'll take that away. 30 plus 2 plus 12 for being one-handed. Ah, that's right. You get a bonus to accuracy if you use the weapon with just one hand without a shield or anything like that. Anyway, I think I'll do it like that. Just want her to have a bit more protection. The second weapon isn't that great. Okay. Here's our options here. So, in case you don't know, the way to get through this without Heodin, or whatever his name is, getting hurt is you pick, if you've got the law, you pick this second option here, the ruin has not been sullied, and then you pick down here, law, judging by the string of animal teeth. I'm guessing you're a worshipper of Gallowin, and when you go through that, Heodin manages to dodge out of the way, so he doesn't get that first injury, which is good. It doesn't mean he's not going to get injured in this fight, but it doesn't give him that injured status that was a pain if you didn't do this option. Okie dokie, so I'm also going to make another quick change here and give him a bow, but he's going to stick with his daggers for now. And we're all going to attack this guy. Now these guys are going to be engaged. Probably, oh no, good. Yes, no, they were engaged before they could get to this leader, but we're going to get them to break their disengage and attack this leader, because if we can get flank on this guy, Hayden being a thief will have a much better time attacking. So he's dead already. So that went way better than expected. So Hayden's doing some good sneak damage and stuff like that now because we're able to flank. And then we will switch him to the bow in a second.
Get in.
You can't skip through this cutscene. Anyway. So I'm sure most people know that throw your weapon if you don't have a bow, but because I have a bow, my first option here is to fire at him. I could just throw use my dexterity as well to throw a rock, but I've already got a bow, so I can shoot him, shoot this attacker, and we managed to get free. Rightio. So.
Was that?
A Bewick.
Then we're looking.
And we're
Out that way.
Great. So we are. Let's switch. Oh, and we've got to reform our party too, don't we? So let's put that there and there, and we're all good. Fighters in the front and archers in the back.
That should be far enough.
We look for another way out. Storm has to die sometime.
And we'll just quickly go through all these choices, and thankfully at the end, because our thief is not injured, he doesn't whinge and whine about wanting to rest. So we can just keep
Wonder
going.
who was here. See if they left
Yes.
anything useful behind.
Okey-dokey, so I am going to ditch the hatchet for a mace. Maces are quite good because they have damage resistance bypass. So I may actually end up keeping that weapon for quite a while. Or similar. Once I start finding some good unique weapons, I will switch to them. Make a judgment call at the appropriate time. I'm not going to bother sneaking around here. I know where all of the secrets are and any of that sort of stuff. This interaction here, I don't think it really matters, but I like to do the benevolent thing because I think when you've got these sorts of choices between aggressive and benevolent, I think that they eventually pay off, and I'll show you in a sec what I mean. So I'll do that, and then I'll back away. Now, the party reputation and the personal sort of, I think there's some personal reputation information in here or something. Can't really see anything, but I think a lot of that, some of that stuff eventually starts to have an effect if you're continually benevolent. So this guy will attack as soon as we come into his area anyway, no matter what we decide to do. So that was good. Thief got a sneak attack. Got more lockpicks now, not that we need them. My character is not going to be the primary thief in the party. Crossbow here. I could give it to Kaliska, but I won't. Now,
Those tiles look suspicious. Let's be careful.
an easy way to make, it's slow, but an easy way to make yourself, I think I calculated it out as 475, no, 620 something experience. We look at, well, it's for the party overall.
Worth a look.
If I get the thief to disarm each of these traps, you get 45 experience for 10 of these, and 15 experience for the rest. There's 25 of them overall. When you calculate all that out, it's like 600 and something experience, because it's 300 just from the 45s, and the rest of the 15s, well, 300 extra. So if you just did 15 by 25, which I can't do in my head, but 25 by 10 is 250.
Worth a look.
Half of that is 175, so that's 425. And then you add an extra 300, 725 or something like that is the total value. I've got that wrong. I think it's 625 is the total. But yeah, you just go through and you just do all of these. It only takes a minute to do. The annoying part is the pause after each new trap is detected, but I suppose if you were really wanting to go through this quickly, you could turn that off in the game options briefly so that it didn't pause. But it's useful because it stops you from accidentally walking on one of the traps you haven't done yet if you misclick. Right.
Stay quiet.
Let's keep going.
That roundish symbol. I'm pretty sure I saw it on one of the tiles back there.
So I forgot. What I have to do is briefly give Kaliska or someone the torch back as a weapon, and then use the torch the first time, then on, and there's actually no point in doing this anymore because we don't need to. Did we get any experience? No, we didn't even get any experience for the first one, so there's really little to no point in actually doing that. But I just do it anyway because I can. Okay. Let's go. So now we've got our oozes that we're going to have to fight. Yeah, they're a little bit of a pain. They do hit with their range attacks, as you can see with the damage that the fighter took. But overall, they're not that hard to take out. And she has a damage, a healing over time thing that happens anyway, so she's doing okay. No, I wanted to pick up the ooze. So we're going to pick
What's
up
that
absolutely
muck
everything
on
that we
the
can
wall?
find because we need to sell it all anyway. One final ooze down here. Won't last long. Not going to bother with that cape. I may give it to one of my companions later on. So we could just head up here at the crossroad. Could go whatever direction that is. But we're not going to. Go and be the completionists that we are, and we'll finish this area down here.
Do you hear that?
Very good. He didn't drop anything, which is always a bit of a pain.
That looks weak. Could be a shortcut.
Yes, of course it could. Push on the wall. You don't have to spend your hammer and chisel if you get Calliska to do it for you. She has enough strength to push on that wall. Heodin is going to ask us to go to stealth.
I could scout
What's the point?
ahead. See what's around the corners.
Because these guys aren't that hard to take on. Sure, Calliska got stunned a little bit, but didn't last long, and we're all good. And nothing to pick up there.
Fresh air in here. I think we found an exit. Sounds like the storm path, too.
There we go. Good shot from the war bow. Let's just prep ourselves over here, make sure we're all set up correctly.
You better run!
And as fearsome and everything that this spider looks, particularly so early on in the game, you think a big spider like this, you're in deep trouble, but
You should have
actually
run!
pretty easy to kill. And I think the reason is because if you actually look at, you can always hover over these things and see, actually no, I thought its deflection was a lot lower than that. So we can see that when Hayden attacked, his accuracy is 36, minus the defender's defense, which is 31, equals 5. So he then rolls from 1 to 100, got 48. He adds that 5 to it, which is 53, which is enough for a hit. There's a couple of places online where you can find this calculation, but there's a value between 0 and something, which is a miss. Then there's that and another value, which is a graze, and then the next value and a higher value is a hit, and then anything above that is a crit. And it also depends on the difference. So if the difference between, if that first value, that 5, is less than 15, it uses one table. If it's more than 15, it uses another set of values to work out those hit, misses, and grazes and everything. Which is why you want your accuracy to be as high as possible, and naturally also your deflection to be as high as possible whenever you're in battle, because if your accuracy is significantly higher than your opponent's deflection, you've got way greater chance of hitting and much better chance of critting. Conversely, if your defense is that much higher, it's more chance that they're going to either miss or just graze you than they are actually going to be able to hit you. So that's why I maximize accuracy and deflection as much as possible on basically all of my characters. Okay, we're going to have this little cutscene here. So let's get that going. There's nothing you can do to skip this, even if you try and sneak past or whatever, you'll do this. I'll skip through it all. You can't go through this little cutscene. You have to just watch this suck the life out of these 3 idiots. Because frankly, you have to be an idiot to want to sacrifice yourself for all of this. And we'll just skip past that, all the horrible stuff that's just happened, and you wake up amongst your dead companions, which is a little bit sad, really. But we're doing fine. So, we get to level up. We are fatigued, so we're going to have to handle that. We're definitely going to want some athletics, so we're going to put a couple of points into that. Lore is going to be one of the main things that we level up, because that gives you a lot of choices in the game from dialogue choices, but it also then allows you to use scrolls. So we really want to be able to bump that up as much as possible. And we're going to probably only go to like 2 ranks in stealth, because we don't really want to hide from people all that much. I don't find stealth that useful. And we're going to go with the Vicious Companion. Accurate Wounding Shot could be useful, but Vicious Companion is the first thing that we're going to take. Right, let's pick up all of this. I don't think there was any changes I was going to make to my character based on this, so we are all good. Okay, so let's pick up that. And this. And I guess if I played the game enough and really analysed everything properly, I could work out which of these ingredients were worth picking up or later on selling, and which ones are the ones that you really want to keep because they're actually useful. So I either, when I'm playing, I either sell it all and never use any of it, or I end up keeping it all and it just sits there because I never use it. Now, the thing is, though, I do try and enchant weapons and stuff like that. So there's all these little visions that you're seeing now. We find out why in a little bit. So we're going to rush through this Vale, or whatever the name of this place is. We want to get into the town as quickly as possible. So we're not going to finish this area. We're not going to go and do this area properly at all. We're going to pick up this. We're going to pick up all of that from that guy. We're going to rest. It's the only thing we are going to do because we need to. We're going to come down here because there's more reagents to pick up. Ghostly figure walking just there. This reagent here, another ghostly figure. So now we've got this guy. He, if I remember rightly, is fairly easy, but we're still going to do the proper thing. We're going to hit him with Wounding Shot. So he's getting it for 4 seconds, so I think that there is some defense that certain opponents can have that reduce the amount of time that they take that damage over time. Seriously considering swapping the sword for that mace, but no, I think the mace is a better option. We're going to talk to this murderer down here. We don't actually know he's a murderer at this point. Although, with our ability that we have, we could actually...
Greetings!
I think you could tell. I always go honest here to say that we were attacked. And then I just go through all of these 4 options. There's actually really no need to. You don't even have to do all of those to complete that little quest. And we'll get to Gilded Vale. So, let's get this interaction out of the way. I think I'm going to just go through this main thing here, and then I'm going to do a quick search of the area, sell up as much money as I can, go over to the inn, and then I'll stop. And in the next stream, I'll come back in a couple of hours and do some more streaming. And that
You
next
must be
stream,
one of the new settlers. Welcome to Gilded Vale.
in that next stream,
You'll be pleased
I
to know
will
that we've had some
show
recent
you the thing that I'm
vacancies
going to do
here.
that's different. So I
Of
just
course, and
skip
in
through
I should
all of
his
this
lord
pretty
whatever
quickly.
your but whatever your but
Okay.
if
keep forgetting to do the correct numbers. It doesn't really
Keep
matter what
out
you
of-
say here.
Listen!
3 bells tolled because the Lord's
2 tolls.
son
Let that
was
be the
born
last.
stillborn. Hollowborn as
3.
as it is in this case.
Gods have mercy.
Stillborn is alive. He just has no soul.
It seems your arrival is 3 bells toll only.
The longest time I'd never do that second option there where you be aggressive to him and say, don't you threaten me, you little man. But it turns out it's no problem doing it because he doesn't care. He doesn't get aggro. He doesn't try and attack you or anything. For quite a while I would never say that because I thought, oh, if I do that he might want to attack me. And there's all these people around. I could get into a big fight. But no, you can safely say that. So we're going to just pick up a few of the reagents around here and a few of the things in chests and stuff. One of these days I'm going to play one of these games where I go through and I don't loot all of that sort of stuff. I don't go into people's houses. I don't go and loot stuff in crates. Except in dungeons maybe, but in towns you really shouldn't be doing that. Okay, so we're going to come down here. I'm not going to bother going into here. We will later on. I could go up here and see the miller and get that quest started, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to come straight into here and sell up. Excuse me. Okay. You've got to be careful because you get accused of stealing if you search any of those, but there is one little thing up here. You can search this shelf where you get a so it's worthwhile doing because the book does sell for a little bit. So let's talk to this guy. What happened? He tells you that the shipment's late. Benevolent, you'll bring it back.
Welcome.
Talk to him again. Let's sell up. Okay, so I actually I don't want to keep these small shields because they only do 8 deflection, but these medium shields at 12 deflection, even though they've got an accuracy bonus, 12 deflection is a good thing. So we're going to get rid of those. I'm going to keep that and the sword and the daggers. We don't need to keep any bows. All the crossbows, all the poleaxe, all the rapier. The daggers are okay just as a interim thing for spare weapons. And we're going to keep this leather armor. We're going to get rid of all this hide. So we've got 4 suits of leather there we're going to keep. I am going to keep that cloak, but I'm not going to use it. We're going to sell those. There's a bunch of different, it's about half a dozen different things here that you can use, like this gold rock chew, that are basically addictive. And after you've used them, you get penalties, and the only way to stop the penalty is to use more of them. So I just sell them. I don't use them. The only thing we can sell for anything here is that regen potion, which we're not going to do. We don't even really need 1 torch, but we're going to keep 1 just in case, and we're going to sell all the others. And technically, I'm just going to give him this journal because I could have read through it all, but it's not really worth it. You can read all this stuff for interesting information. I just want them out of my inventory. And yes, technically I could sell a lot of this and make some money. I'm not going to bother at this point. I've got 345 gold, and I only need 1,000 there, so that's good. Let's get out of here. Let's head over to the inn. Now, we're going to meet one of our potential companions. There's actually 2 in here. I'll show you the map. You've probably already seen this, but you have Edda here, or Adair actually, and Aloth down here. So we're going to head to where Aloth is. Aloth's a weird guy. He's actually a little bit schizo. Actually a lot schizo, but it's not really schizophrenia. It's actually that he is inhabited by the soul of another person. And even though you can't tell by hearing the voice that the voice actor does, it's supposed to be a woman that he's and from the distant past, which is why
I meant no offense.
so that's his normal voice.
Hoping to soothe our pride with a...
Go on. Fie, you're itching for the kindling touch of your sister, you cocksfeather!
And that is the voice of the woman that is possessing him.
I'll cut that. This.
That's where you're wrong.
Okay, so with high enough perception, you can tell them that it's not a good idea because he's reaching for something and it's not the rapier at his side, so it's either a wand or a dagger. That lets them go away without you having to attack them. It's probably right to attack them. You do get a little bit of experience for it. I don't know how much experience you get for not attacking them. I can check that in a second, but...
Not quite how I hope to get courtesy
again,
is a rare
I'll be
pleasure in these
benevolent
parts.
because
Well, I suppose introductions
I
are
want
in
to do
order.
that.
Lima and in Gwithan ruins.
And I'm
Those
not
can
gonna
be dangerous.
deceptive.
Do you survive? In excellent.
So you can just skip
Indeed.
through all of this
I'm
sort of
afraid
stuff.
that was a matter of misunderstanding.
Be diplomatic.
Begging your pardon. As should I.
Now I'm going to
given
say
recent events.
I prefer to travel light. Maybe
It's just
later,
as well. Well, I
because
quite
don't want him on the
understand.
party yet. And the reason for that we are going to see in the next adventure. We're going to come in here. I'm actually going to loot this place first before I talk to anybody. Before I talk to the... She's not really the innkeeper, she's the barmaid. I remember that being in there. You can talk to a lot of these people. None of them are really worth it, in my opinion. I'm going to come up here. I always had a feeling that there was something hidden around here, but I haven't been able to find it again, so maybe it was in an early version of the game or something. I'm not going to be able to unlock that, am I? No. Okay, we'll come back later. Well, maybe
Let's see
now.
what's in here.
No. Come back later when we can unlock that. There's not much in it, but... Right. Actually, yeah,
How do you do?
Let's do it. Let's finish the thing with what I'm going to do. So, first of all, you talk about porridge, because that gives you the quest to go and find the dwarven cook, chef, whatever you want to call him here. He was back in that previous place we were in, where we got attacked by that guy. Now, that's just a general talky thing. What do we want? We want to hire some adventurers. And what are we going to do? We're going to hire rangers. This is going to be an entire party of rangers. And just to what do they call it? How do they say it? Just to change things up a little bit. We're going to have a couple of women in the party. Actually, we're going to be equal women and men. So we're all going to be wood elves. And we're all going to be named after a different type of bear. So I was dire bear. This one's going to be cave bear. So she's going to be a ranger with wounding shot. I'm going to keep her in this same region. So she's got a war bow as well. She can change out her armor later. So she's going to have a bear companion. So the bear's going to be called Cave Bear. And by marrying up the character's name with the bear name, we can easily see who goes with which bear, because there's going to be 6 bears and 6 characters. And again, we're going to build the same layout: perception and resolve, and then drop down intellect and do dexterity to give us our best action speed. Actually, that's what we needed. So 17, 19, and 19. Yep, you're going to stay on that plane. We're going to make you a hunter, I think. Everyone needs to have at least 1 survival, but you already get 1 survival as being a ranger. Actually, no, you are going to be our thief from now on. So I need someone who's going to have a high mechanics value, and that's going to be this girl. It's going to be Cave. I don't mind that head. Just change the hairstyle. Oh, I didn't mean to. Oh, that's fine. The hairstyle to something that looks a little bit similar. Actually, I don't think anything really looks like that one. There's nothing with that like headband there. But that one there will do. Colouring, they're all going to be some combinations of blue and greyish, blue and green. Let's just make the skin a bit paler. That's fine. And you're going to have the...
I'm flattered.
And you're going to be cave. Done. So make sure you've got all of the presets we want for the AI. Very good. And we are going to give you sword and board like that. And yeah, we're going to give you leather armor. And you can have that cape. Okay, next one.
Well met, friend.
This is why we needed the at least 1,250 gold, so that we can hire those 5 extra adventurers we need. The big advantage of this is, if you just pick up the companions that you can get through the game, it can actually be a while before you have a full party. It can be quite a while, whereas I'll have a full party straight away. Elf, Wood Elf, Ranger, Wounded Shot, Bear Companion. You're going to be Grizzly. Except, drop that down, max that out, max that out, and go to there. All good. Yep, you can stay from there. You're going to be a hunter. Yeah, that'll do. So the reddish sort of brown hair. Yeah, that one. And it's fairly short hair, isn't it? That'll do. And
Let's go!
Feisty, because you're a grizzly. Except... I've got a funny feeling that I didn't call that bear Grizzly Bear. I just called it Grizzly. Which will not be good. Dire Bear... I did. I just called the bear Grizzly rather than Grizzly Bear. That's alright. I can still find it easily enough. Because there's no way to change it now. That's fine. Okay.
Greetings.
Next. Now, I'm going to just pick some of these other options so that, even though I'm not going to take a room just yet, I'm going to click on that. And it just grays them out. I don't know. Silly thing to do, but I'm going to do it anyway. Male, Elf, Wood Elf, Ranger, Wounding Shot, Bear. You're going to be Black Bear. Drop that down, max that out, max that out. There we go. Now, I'm actually going to get you to come from here. And, yeah, because I want him to be using a crossbow rather than the warbow. And they're going to have the front row with all warbows, or maybe my character with a hunting bow, I don't know. The back row are going to be crossbows and arbalists. At least initially. We might change that later. You're going to still be a hunter. This one is Black Bear, isn't it? So we're probably going to go with that guy. I need to find... I think that hair is the hair I prefer for that style. And we're going to give you...
Keeping an eye out.
I don't know why. So you're going to be called Black. Done. Actually, I think I forgot to do... Yes, I did. And I also didn't update you to have the backup weapons that I wanted or the correct armor. So you are going to use that rather than chain, and we're going to give you, for now, just a single dagger as a backup, because we don't have enough weapons, but that's going to change. Everyone's going to have sword and board of some sort as their backups, and you need to set your AI as well. Aggressive, save, done. Let's pick another one.
Greetings.
What do you have for sale? Go, accept. Yep, another female, elf, ranger, wounding shot, bear companion, polar bear, drop that, buff that, buff that, and then that. You are going to have that though, because you're going to use an arbalist, and you're going to be a hunter, and polar bear, I don't know, you really can't find, yeah, that'll do. So blonde, actually she's got more of a orangey, doesn't she, which we really don't have a good colour for. That one maybe, no, that'll do. Lighter skin, and it's a really short hairstyle, that one. That might do. It's not even short enough really, but ooh, lots of, I don't know what, that's better. That'll do. Okay,
Yeah?
stoic, and you're going to be polar. Done. So let's set your AI, and we're not going to change anything about you because we don't really have. Oh, actually, we're going to give you a dagger for now. And let's pick our
Good day,
last
stranger.
one. And a male wood elf, ranger with wounding shot, and a bear, a sun bear, which, if you've never heard of them, is an Asian type of bear. And that, and you're going to go back to being the crossbow rather than the arbalist, because the arbalist is very slow. Not that the crossbow's that much better, really. Yeah, that hairstyle, yeah, that portrait is fine. We're just going to do that. And
Follow me.
Sun, accept, done. This is our party. 6 rangers and their bear companions. Now, let's rearrange this stuff a little bit. If I remember rightly, it will be something like that. And then you're going to be there, you're going to be there, and you're going to be there. So that's going to be that, that, and that, maybe? Let's see. Nope, got it very, very wrong. Okay, so that one there goes there. That one there goes there. And That one there goes there. That one, no. That one there goes there. That one there goes there. And that one there goes there. So now we have matches of this guy and his bearers in the front row. They're in the same positions. Everything's good. I don't know if I'll play with this one. But that is pretty much our party. And I'm going to leave it there because it's lunchtime on a Sunday. I'm going to go and get some lunch, and in a couple of hours I'm going to come back and we're going to take it off from here. We're going to go back to Vale Wood and clear out that area, and we're going to do all the other adventures that we can do here in the Gilded Vale as well, and probably whatever else we can fit in. But we're going to see how well this works. I know how well this works. The only places we're going to really have problems are a couple of the bigger fights, and that's why I'm doing everything I can, excuse me, to make my companions as defensive as possible. So thank you for joining me on this, and see you next time. Bye.